of start yet blood from a small stadium. Day the Accra is young. The games without a victory. So of the Ghana Premier League, let me run you through them. Just few minutes that game between Heart of Oak and Karela. Then tomorrow of Adriana will come up against Heart of Lions. Then Bechem United will also face Real Tamale United. The game that will show you live on your screens tomorrow would be that game. FC cities with Nations FC who are vying to win the Ghana Premier League also. Tamatex welcoming Brekum Chelsea to the Nanansi Trip Park. Then on Monday we wrap up match day 26 as Accra Lions will be taking on Bebieni Gold Stars. Fixtures coming up in my of the game is Mutala Yakubu, and always to serve being joined two of the best as far as the Ghana Premier League is concerned. My colleague Josiah Okokwe is here with us. You'll be hearing from him, and our boy Gates is also, and he would also be contributing to this one. Francis, Marine, good evening. It is unusual. I almost said good afternoon because I'm used to be 6. We are fast approaching twilight of the league. What is your fair assessment so far? 25 weeks gone by.
When you were doing your introduction, and you said we are in match week 26. I'm like, in my head I was like, whoa. And this is where the permutations come on board. You know, you have to pick the matches that are like 6 pointers for you to win, and the ones that you are supposed to grind out, maybe a draw to be able to push you up the table. And if you look at the league this season, basically because AFCON break in January, it has taken a little bit of something. But when we bounce back, teams that were doing very well in the first vein of form in the second round of the when they couldn't put together some results, and now there's so much pressure mounting on the shoulders of Coach Prosper Nate Ogum to be able to turn this around. As to how they'll be able to do it, it's tough because matches drop into the relegation zones. You have Hearts of Lions, Real Tamale United. So if you look at the chasing pack, it's tight. For now, you can't tell that someone will be relegated because unlike previous seasons where you see those languishing at the basement of the table, they will have maybe 18, 19, and those on top of them will have 20, 19. Time, the chasing pack are very close, and the point is about just too much differences. So if you look at that, that tells you there's everything at stake in the league.
Josiah, we are clear down.
Tell the product. We just don't going to delegate until the league wants to. We just want this to travel, you know, to the very last day, and the very last that would get to be the champion's right before our eyes. We've come to appreciate the league. The league has grown over the years, so much quality, and that's how Giants have been knocked off, dominating like we think they would dominate. Dreams is, you know, weeks or months ago, trying to, you know, Ghana their quest in Africa. That's what it is about. Let's give, you know, credit to this team. this is their second season, but then they are still, continuing to blossom. They are burgeoning, and it's quite a delight to watch them every game week. But then the other teams languishing at the bottom just need to try and catch up because it's not easy. And if they don't take care, they'll be left behind.
Well, the likes of RTU need to catch up because we are fast going. And it applies to the Ghana Premier League. If you don't put your house in early, you might find yourself wanting when the league gets to that twilight when things are really tough there. But today it is Hearts of Oak who are coming up against, and quickly let's discussion and look at the two are closer to the relegation zone. They are 14th with 30 points, but then they are themselves further down the league table. Currently they are 11th with 32 points. Between Karela and Hearts of Oak, it's only 2 points that separate them. So if Karela should win, they would actually go above Hearts of Oak. So the head-to-head of the two teams in the 5 games have seen Hearts of Oak by a goal to nil. Then Hearts drew 1-1 with them in 2022. The next game ended goalless between the pair, with Karela 1 and Karela in a 1-1 draw against her. So in the last 5 games, Hearts of Oak found it extremely difficult to go past Karela.
Yeah, this board in the Ghana Premier League, Hearts of Oak has never beaten Karela before. And if you look at the last 5 matches, it speaks volume. Karela United, basically a boogie side for Hearts of Oak, both home and away. I think Hearts of Oak beat them in the normalization committee competition at the Accra. Yeah. That's Oak and them itself, and they are proving that they are a top track whenever they play against the Phobians. And if you look at the last two games that they played, in that famous the Heart of Oak powder to powder his face, where Hearts of Oak got beaten mercilessly by 3 goals to 0 in a Ninase, for Hearts of Oak to be able to conjure something against Karela. About this team is they play under an experienced gaffer in Abukari Damba. All their home mid-faster Goldstars had to conjure a penalty in the members of that game to beat them at the Bebiani Dance Park by 3 goals to. So Hearts of Oak themselves, they are 3 match winless. They've tasted the last 3. They'll come game. This is a team that we can crack and get some results of them. Look at them.
So the form that on your screen is there. Have won in Accra Sports Stadium to beat them by a goal, and they lost by 2 goals to 0.
To 10 up in the results, and everyone was like, yes, this is maybe Hearts of Oak are basically background, but for them to lose, that has really rocked them up, and they are supposed to look at them. And against Karela, but look at what they've done in the second, to tell that Hearts of Oak, on any given day you fancy them and the results against. But some players that they can Hearts of Oak shake away the defeat that they chalk against Mediema, because Hearts of Oak were of no existence. Basically,
confidence. You go to the baby has had the loss, but last game was a to so they are
United. Three. They are not so it.
to normalize it.
They've started thinking about
Yeah.
everything. I don't care who is
Yeah.
back. See the goalkeepers. This to start. Hearts of Oak should be thinking about how to sheets performance.
And the mentality of the players. If you look at full paper, Hearts of Ghana what started out experience because this is maiden season in the Ghana Premier. But and circumstances, they should realize you should know that Hearts of Oak is one of the fine look at you have played they've lost effort, but when you play in this and you are not focused for 9 goalkeeping errors, how there defensive you don't click, it's not football sports stadium, and everybody was like, this is it, we've gotten a new striker who will come and bang in the goal, but things didn't go well for him, you understand? But he's a good player, he has goals in him. As to how Kasala and Hamza Isa are not able to complement each other, it's another. They brought in Cisse. Cisse tried, he has been trying in some of the games, but as of now you could tell that his confidence in front of goal to put the ball at the back of the net is not, it has not skyrocketed. Understand? So as to how they'll be able to marshal themselves and complement each other in attacking third to be able to kill off games is something that Hearts of Oak need to work.
Now, Josiah, you have talked about Hearts of Oak losing concentration in mid-game. I mean, you've talked about the fact that they can give you a good first 45 minutes, then the next 45 minutes is horrendous. We saw them against mid, and those two, see them, you have fumed that goes that they should not allow.
You know, for the class, you know, and pedigree of Hearts of Oak, honestly, there are certain goals they shouldn't be conceding. And just look at that. You know, for talking about their class and pedigree, Mutala, Hearts of Oak, it's just a game, you know, for instance, that game against Media, they played the type of goals they considered, and, you know, it was, I don't know, but it's just not good enough for a team like Hearts of Oak. I just don't feel that's
It was a solid first 45 minutes from them.
But then football is a game of two halves. Mutala, you don't play football in one half and expect that the other first half, bury your chances, take them. So in the next half, if the opposition tweaks anything, you're just able to manage the game and you see your way through. And I've said it on record that the last 3 games that Hearts of Oak haven't managed to pick any point is down to goalkeeping errors. Go to that Samatex game. Bibiani Gold Stars. It was glaring. Mediama just a couple of days ago. Another glaring, you know. So I just feel that's the area that, yes, now the window has been shut.
You think that has been their Achilles heel this season?
Until I can go back from match week 1 and tell you the number of games that Hearts of Oak has really, you know, just not been good enough in that goalkeeping position. Their goalkeeper, and they remain, I think, one of the few teams to have used 3 goalkeepers this season, trying to find out who the best one is. And if you go into games like this, no matter how hard your attackers work, there's always something to worry about. Because if you score 2, you're conceding 3. If you score 4, you're conceding 5. And that's a problem. It means that the attack would always have to be at their best. Because they can't hold on to a 1-goal lead. It means that the team will always come back. Just look at how they were able to, you know, get back in that game against Samatex. They did it the hard way. Hamza Issa getting that goal from close range. And then they allowed just, you know, one small mistake to cost them that game again. And in those 3 games, all the goals they've conceded. I'm not saying the goalkeepers are not good enough, but then is the goalkeepers trainer working hard with these goalkeepers? Because we've seen Hearts of Oak. They won the league under Summer with one of these keepers, didn't they? They did. Yeah, so we know, good. So we know the quality of these goalkeepers, but it's just not going too well. And then I believe maybe the management will have to start questioning the goalkeepers trainer.
Francis, Karela themselves have already killed it 1 giant this season. Kumasi Santikot, they beat them 1-0 in Nalego. Another giant stands before them, but this is a giant that they've triumphed over for in the last few years. Abubakar Dampa has come in as a new coach, come with a different philosophy. You have also seen them play. You saw them against Kotoko. You saw them clips of the games that they've played. How do you think they would actually shape up this afternoon? Would they go for the kill against Hearts of Oak, knowing that history is favoring them, or they will be cautious in their approach?
Well, if you look at Karela are a tough team to beat. Anytime, before you beat them, you find it difficult. In their last 5 matches, it was the games against Brekum Chelsea, and that one against they got walloped. But aside that, you could look at the scoreline. It was tight against in midweek against Gold Stars. Gold Stars struggled to beat them by 3-2. They got the winning goal in the dynamic. But if you look at their team, they have a solid base in Nasiru Abdul Karim. They have a very solid goalkeeper who has been stable and marshaled their back line for them. If you look at Augustine Randolph, one of the finest wing backs in the country some seasons ago. Last season he had a dip in form after the Chant competition, but he has rediscovered his form under Abubakar Dampa. Then you have Samuel Atakumi. He scored a brace against Gold Stars in midweek, and he has been popping up with goals for them. So if you look at what they have, Maxwell Atta, Mohamed Awal Al-Hassan, and Abdul Latif, they have Giyasu Ibrahim. So if you look at them, yes, you don't see players that are like household names in the league, but they have experienced players in their fold. And on any given day, they are if they are really against the game plan and stay compact, themselves play it compact, and they expand on the wings with explosive players, and they can run you ragged. Last season we saw what they did to Hearts of Oak at Aliu Muhammad Sports Stadium. So the problem here is Hearts of Oak, in terms of psychological, would they have it that we've never beaten this team before? Yes, it will come into play. in terms of the positive psychological effect on Karela, they also feel like this is a team that has never beaten us in the league before. So let's have a go at them. Hearts of Oak are not in the rich vein of form currently in their last 3 matches, and they might wobble. You understand? And can we knock them off their pet? They will feel like that. So if you look at the team shape of Karela, with what they will do, Mutala, they will be very compact, they'll be very disciplined, they'll be very tactical. Because if you look at Bukari Damba, basically he loves to play with 3, the rest in attack. Or sometimes you switch the formation to a 4-4-2. Thereby, on counter attack, they go with the formation. He varies his tactics. So if you look at the flip side, Abubakar Ouattara, he has proven in games, unless in that game against Mediama in midweek, where in the second half they got shattered by Nebotka, the coach of Mediama, where they basically took them to the clinic, no answers. He has proven in the games that they've played that he varies his tactics as much as the games transcend into the dying embers of the game. So this evening, I am looking at 2 great coaches that will give us of their game plan.
You look at games and something team coach Abubakar Ouattara has tempered with personnel. What do you think is prompting that?
Mutala,
Because they were winning, where Ampedu even to play as a right back, but for the last 3 games, there's been a change in personnel.
Exactly, but let's not forget that he only came in with 3 weeks before the second round started.
Yeah.
So he had limited time to work with his team, and he even attested to that even in the first game of the second round where they beat RTU, that it was a good win, but then they are still not done because some of these games would serve as preseason. Then they start, on a good note. The win against RTU, they get some decent wins here and there. But in the last 3 games, ask yourself that after Dennis Nkumakosa was shown that red card against James FC, what happened to you? Have to change. That was why he was forced to play Michael Ampedu left back. And that's not just the only thing that has changed, because we've seen Linda sometimes play in the pivot role together with Gledo Tanga. Is not playing. Today he has Cisse back in the team. Esubonting is starting. Why? Because he's trying to find answers. You are losing, and once you are losing, you always want to find answers, and I believe that's what he's doing.
Of course, one temper with the squad, and I'm sure that is what is affecting Coach Abubakar Ouattara. You're still watching StarTimes at Adepa channel 247, and we are building up to a big clash at the Accra Sports Stadium. It is hard to folk who are home to Karela. We take a quick break. We will be right back and go through the first 11 of both teams. It's match day 26 of the Ghana Premier League, and we will be at the stadium in witness that big clash between Heartfolk and Karela. Heartfolk are 11th at the moment with 32 points, and Karela like 14th with 30 points. So should Karela win today, they will go past Heartfolk, and should Heartfolk win, one of the joys would be to go past Asante Kotoko, who will be playing tomorrow against Dream FC. My name is Mutala Yakubu. We're still here in the studios of StarTimes with Francis Aboibo Blackgate and of course Josiah Okokwe. The lineup of the two teams are out. Richard Atta has been reinstated into the post by Heartfolk, so he is starting today. Kofi Abesima is starting on the side. Michael Amfebu is starting as well. Glade Otanga is in there. Hamza Issa is the top scorer for Heartfolk. He scored 9 goals so far in the Premier League. He's starting. Thomas Winemi gets to start. Martin Kakari has also been given the starting place. Enoke Subotin is starting today. Sise Kasim is in there. Linda Mtege, and of course Dennis Nkrumah Kosa. And for Karela, Nasiru Abdul Karim is also starting in post for them. Emmanuel Anafo is the captain of the side. Solomon Abuaji, Dafi Homin Mohammed is in there. Abdul Rahman Yahya Muhammad, Asigri Sulemana, Giyasu Ibrahim, Abdul Latif, Muhammad Awar Lassa, Umar Farouk, and of course Rashid Al Hassan there. Francis Richard Atta back in post for Heartfolk again. Another change in the goalkeeping department after Shaib kept the post for them in their 2 previous defeats. It is Atta who is in post today.
Yeah, you not blame the coach based on the kind of elementary errors that we've seen from the young lad against Mediama midweek. It will only make sense for the coach to reinstate the experience a goalkeeper in Richard Atta. I'll say this: Richard Atta is a Heartfolk legend, but someone will say, what kind of legend? He has won the league for Heartfolk. He has won 2 FA Cups for Heartfolk.
Does it automatically make him a legend?
He's a legend. Trophies make you a legend, because how long has Heartfolk gone trophyless until they bought him from Parkway Sindum's team? What's the name? Elmina Sharks. He came and he won them the league. You understand? So he is an experienced goalkeeper. He is one of the players that have played, that are still in the team from the title-winning team under Samuel Buedu.
I think it's him and Salifu are the only ones left.
So if you look at the team and you have problems, he's someone that you really look up to. The problem here is how switch on will he be? Because sometimes he himself can. The sort of errors that he commits are unpardonable. Because of his experience, you don't want him to be coming out with such horrendous errors. So the problem here is he's back into the team. Would the defensive unit trust him? When he issues out commands, would they listen to him? Is another thing altogether. And Dennis Kosa returns to the team as well. So if you look at that back 4, it's Michel Ampedu, Thomas Winimi, and Dennis Kosa. So it's a settled back line with full of experience. So the sort of errors that we've seen from Heartfolk in their previous matches, I think this evening they should be able to cut it out. Then in midfield, Martin Kakari, Glido Tanga, Enoke Subontin, make out that trio of midfield. Then you have Linda Mtange playing behind Hamza Issa and Kasim Cisse. So basically, like what I was saying last in midweek, that Kasim Cisse can hold up play and draw Hamza Issa into play, so that he'll play off his shoulders instead of a knockdown and then link up play. So top up there, they'll have bodies up there to trouble Karela, and it will be extremely tough for Karela looking at this particular team sheet from
way to Accra Sports Stadium, all the way from north. That must be a long journey, and one thing that will put the icing on the cake for them is to get 3 points today against Heartfolk. It's not going to be an easy game for them, especially knowing that Heartfolk have lost their 3 previous games. There you see former Kumasi Asante Kotoko defender Maxwell Ajamai, part of the squad. Former Heartfolk captain Abdul Fattah Mohammed could only make a place on the bench. He's not starting today, but that is a very, very strong lineup from Abubakar Damba as well. But again, Josiah, going back to the Heartfolk squad, David Oprafrane has been dropped to the bench, but Dennis Nkrumah Kosa has been missed for some time now. We saw Michael Ampedu even playing as a makeshift left back. Today, he is back, and the back 4 looks like the usual one that we've seen for the last couple of weeks.
I believe his presence has been really, really missed. Dennis Kosa, we all know what he brings to this Heartfolk team, and if I've always believed and been an advocate of the fact that great teams are built on solid defenses, and we all saw how that back 4 really worked unfortunately, Kelvin Osesibe is not around, so Winnie has been a fine backup for Hearts since slotting in the absence of Kelvin Osesibe. And you have Agbesime, who the coach himself, appointed as captain of the team after his appointment. So you can see that consistent back four, and that has been something that hasn't really worked out for Hearts. Consistency at the back. Kosa has quality. It's undeniable. This is a player who has had stints with the national team before, so you can see, or you should know, his quality. And they really missed him. I just believe or feel that it was just an act of indiscipline that caused him to.
But Jose, I'm looking at the Hearts of Oak first 11, and the most creative force that they usually have is Salifu Ibrahim, and he's on the bench. So yeah. I am tempted to believe that the onus lies on Linda Ntamge today. Not just Linda Ntamge. I think Hearts of Oak have got this creative player that no one talks about, and that's Martin Kakari. He's a very lovely player. Yeah, he's that. Yeah, it's just because the team is yet to gel, and some of these players are struggling to find their form and their feet in this particular team. But then he's a delight to watch on any day. He was the one who scored that winning goal for them, in the dynamics of that game against Bechem United in the last game of the first round. He's such a wonderful player. It's just up to these players, trying to know how he plays, his movement on and off the ball, and try to, just build some connection with him. He's a very, very fine player. He's good with his set pieces. He knows how to carve open defenses. He's a good dribbler. His order play is top notch. This is a quality number 10 in the league, and you can barely find a handful of such profile of players in the league. He's a very, very good number 10. I believe that the onus lie on him, because fortunately for him, he plays more advanced. So maybe Linda will be playing that double pivot role alongside Glade Otanga. They've also formed some good partnership in recent times, but then I think today Hearts of Oak rely on Kakari for all those creation of chances. Okay, so that is what is happening there. So it is that time that we go to the Accra Sports Stadium and have a listen to the two managers ahead of this big clash. We start with the assistant coach of Hearts of Oak, Rahim Bashiru.
Hey coach, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
You find yourself in a very difficult situation coming from your last 3 games. How do you intend to end this game?
Yeah, thank you. Well, we lost our last 3 games, but when you look at our last 2 games, we played so well. We are just unlucky to lose those games. But coming into this game with all seriousness and determination, I think we are not going to leave our foot off the pedal this time around. And we have to try as much as possible to turn things around this evening.
You obviously must be counting on home advantage as you lost your last home game here against Gold Stars.
Yeah, anytime as of playing against any club, they are coming like a wounded lion. That's exactly what we are going to see this evening. But we know they are very aggressive. They are playing very aggressively, and also they are a team with extraordinary collective attitude. We know that, so we are going to match them, and we know exactly how to play them and to win this match convincingly.
You keep chopping and changing. You keep, changing your playing squad. I see Atta coming in to replace Sharif. I've also seen Esubontin starting. Kakari starting as well. Salim drops to the bench alongside Salifu. Befi also goes to the bench. Why these wholesale changes? And some have said that because you don't have a consistent team, that's why the results are not coming.
Yeah, we have consistent team, like you said, but we lost the last 3 games. So, per the game plan for today, that's why we select this players that you see. But on the number 1 spot, Atta was injured, so he just came back. And we have Kosa today. He has already served his, the suspension that he had. And Salifu and Salim, that's the game plan. We want them to come into the game second half to win the game for us.
You'll be counting on the striking partnership between Kasim and Hamza to get you goals today.
Yeah, of course, yes. That's why we have confidence in them. That's why you see.
What have you been telling Hamza, because he's not scored in a while?
No, we hope he'll score today. We hope. Oh no, he didn't score in the last 2 games because he scored against Samates. So we hope today he'll score here, and not to score, but to win the game.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, Coach Damba. How does it feel coming to play against your former club?
A very good feeling. very, very good feeling, and of course some nostalgic feelings as well. But this is the game of football. We're always excited.
You're hoping to beat them?
Why not? The aim of every game is to win. If the possibility is there to win, why not? I grab it with both hands. But let us wait and see what happens.
They've stumbled and lost in their last 3 games. What kind of opposition are you expecting from them?
Well, I will always say the last kicks of a dying horse are very powerful. Don't forget that. So don't underrate Hasselfolk. They are coming out like Kakai. They want to bite and roar at everything. But I believe we'll be able to tame them.
You believe Karela can tame them?
Hopefully.
You've kept a consistent shape. I see Anafo as the only player coming in to replace Maxwell Ajima. You did lose in that game against Gold Stars, but you must have been impressed with how they shaped up and played.
Well, I was very happy with the performance of my team. I mean, they were very eventful to do what we wanted to do. And that is what made me really, really excited. I think the only person I brought in is Anafo, as you rightfully mentioned. And it is for, health reasons. He had to replace one of my players who was not feeling too good. And I think we are good to go.
West outcome for your side today?
Nobody wishes for the West. I always wish for the best.
Will Karela beat Hasselfolk?
Hopefully.
Carried down by there giving us some proverbs that the last kick of a dying horse or say a dangerous man is the most powerful. And it's
the 4th time he says this.
Of course. He always comes up with different proverbs.
Is that they want to bite like
you can't love him less. You can't love him less. That is Abubakar Damba for you. But this is set up to be an interesting clash. And Francis, from the
two coaches.
Yeah, the two coaches. You can clearly see that both of them are going for this. No one is going to play complacency.
It's a Saturday evening blockbuster loading in the Ghana.
Okay, so let me take your predictions and let's go. I'll start with you, Francis. Who wins?
I'm experiencing a scoring draw.
Josiah?
Hearts should win this, barring any goalkeeping.
Okay, so you've heard from my two pandas there. It's that time that we cross over to the Accra Sports Stadium for the first half of this game. It is Hearts coming up against Karela. Enjoy the first 45 minutes.